permanent administrations in districts. Today, we are here to link the existing resources, as Wadajir had already indicated, to the government priorities. Wadajir means unity, as I always say here, or partnership. It symbolizes the connections between all levels of government, be the district, the state, and the federal government of Somalia. It also symbolizes a new and vibrant partnership between the government, the civil society, and the private sector. It outlines a holistic, community-owned and led process leading to the formation of permanent administrations across 68 districts in southern and central Somalia. It has been jointly developed, as you are very much well aware of, by the federal government of Somalia, federal member states, emerging states, and regional administrations. It is grounded in the belief that building a system, particularly in Somalia, requires an understanding and collective vision of not only the desired end state, but incremental and interlinked steps that ensure its success. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wadajir framework consists of 5 separate but interlinked and complementary components. As we have been saying all along, reconciliation, peace dividends, as government in practice, civic dialogue, local governance, strategic communication, which is a cross-cutting pillar. Working together, the Wadajir framework is designed to overcome the barriers that may potentially hinder a coordinated approach to establishing district councils and administrations in the districts in Somalia. Normally, there are a lot of hiccups in putting our ideas through or working together or getting sets to standardize all the efforts happening across the country, because federalism had been, let me say, implemented or accepted by Somalis without having the necessary preparations on the ground. And that created a conflict between state and federal level, whereby our partners may say X said this, B said this, and that had really created a huge barrier. To remove it is what Wadajir stands for. It's a national framework. The Wadajir work provides a rapid and inclusive pathway to a formation of permanent local administrations. In our last meeting in Barnaamijka, in our communique, we agreed that the Local Government Act, which has been passed by the National Assembly in 2013, will serve as a driver for the Wadajir framework, and it will be revised to be in line with the existing federal structures in Somalia. We have booked representatives from the federal government of Somalia, regional administrations, federal member states who have been sitting in the last 5 days, supported by JBLG in Mogadishu, who have put nicely the work together. They have submitted their work to the Interministerial Regional Council yesterday for a final consultation in the respective institutions before it's being submitted to the next parliament for endorsement. After months of designing and national consensus building on the Wadajir national framework, it is now a time to develop the framework into a programmatic piece with activities, timelines, budgets formulated for each component. In July, Moiva, federal member states and regional administrations discussed the implementation of the framework and set a work plan. In the local governance component of a framework, 26 districts have been prioritized for phase 1 of the implementation, and that is what we have to present today. It is hoped that by the end of this workshop or meeting, our facilitating partners, donors, will have solidly identified the areas of intervention under the 5 pillars of Wadajir framework that they will begin to implement in which districts. As well, for our donors to indicate the different components they should be supporting as well as that. We also hope that all facilitating partners will agree to will also agree to the common operating guidelines of the Wadajir program. Additionally, with M&E platform, which we have long awaited, of which I hope our colleague here will be representing it in a minute, is in place to support the government's effective tracking of progress needs to happen from the outset, and even in parallel very early on with the start of the implementation of the activities. In the last 3 years of stabilization programming, it is very hard to me to say what the impact has actually been, because we were not tracking collectively the impact. So we don't know much about what was happening. And instead, facilitating partners write reports to the government about what the situation is, but the government at the different levels, be it federal or the state, had been left out of this reporting chain. We have nothing to report about the stabilization program. I'm sorry to say so. Thus, we have not effectively been able to tell the Somali people about the impact of our collective work of the last 3 years. Given that, one of the objectives of the stabilization work is to increase awareness, trust and confidence between the communities and the government. That's why we have radicalization growing so rapidly, because we are not instilling the necessary trust into our public. The public thinking that they are being given whatever they need by the non-state actors, which actually cripples the efforts of the state of Somalia.